Wait. This is the point where they stop listening.
What's up, everybody? It's Immature Hour time. I'm Mark.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Eric.
And we're going to talk about stuff and things.
Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff and things.
The best stuff and things. I don't know about the best. The best is... It's debatable, I guess. It's cool, though. Stuff we got to talk about today is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited about some stuff.
I'm about it.
Yeah, you're the best around.
Mainly because there's no one else around.
What a jumbled mess. What are we talking about first? Just so everyone knows, I just downed like a bottle of branched chain amino acid.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is branched chain amino acid?
Amazing if you work out. It helps.
Sponsored by branched chain amino acid.
Maybe one day.
BA brand. No, it's really great. Shout out to Alice for telling me about it because I started taking dance classes again and I was in a lot of pain the next day and she was like, bruh. Not really. She didn't really say it like that. Bruh, bruh. Come to my house. No, she didn't really
Classic
say that.
Alice.
I know, right? That's clearly what she sounds like. No, she was like, come to my house. I've got this stuff. You need to try it. And I was like, okay. And it has changed my life. It gives you energy.
What if you don't work out?
You can replace your coffee with it because it has green tea extract in it.
Ooh,
yeah.
See, I like green tea extract.
Yeah. It's really great. You just mix it in with your water and it's fantastic.
So shout out to Alice. Alice!
It is much appreciated.
It's a good shout out.
It's a good shout out.
She heard it all the way at her house. I can promise you that.
My guitar's echoed in the room.
That chair too. That metal chair was like.
All right, so where do you guys want to start with this craziness?
You know what? It's been a little while, and I feel like I ate the last podcast. So I think that we should start by letting Eric talk about.
Oh,
yeah. Don't you have this this augmented
ARG
game? This is what I'm gonna. Let me put on my tinfoil hat here.
Yes.
So I feel more comfortable talking about it this week because Stranger Things has been out for a little bit now.
Oh yeah, that's right. This does have something to do with that.
Yeah. So
are there any spoilers? Do we need to warn about spoilers?
No, not necessarily. Like minor spoilers. There is an ARG for the season 3 of Stranger Things. So I'm gonna explain what an ARG is. Essentially, it is a clue-based game of sorts where there are real-world clues and like puzzles and stuff that you have to solve. Ooh. That give you insight to a fictional world, or like behind the scenes things about like a fictional universe or something. I think the most prominent example of this would probably be when Cloverfield came out. Cloverfield had a huge ARG that when the first trailer for Cloverfield came out, for Transformers, Jesus, you can remember that. There was the trailer and then like no title for the movie. There was just a date, 1/18/08. Well, people got curious about that and typed in 1-18-08.com.
I remember this. They had like a website dedicated to it, and yeah,
they went all out. All the characters for the movie had MySpace accounts. They had posts on their MySpace accounts. They're talking about stuff, and then the day the movie was coming out, they were talking about how they were going to go to Rob's house for his surprise going away party, which is the setting for the beginning of Cloverfield. So it's like you're watching it in real time.
That's right.
Cool. And there's also there's little stuff at the end of during Cloverfield that if you paid attention and followed the ARG and its puzzles and all of its extra websites, you have more insight into why everything's happening.
Okay.
Right at the end of the movie, have you seen the movie, by the way?
Yes, I loved Cloverfield.
So
I was a huge fan. It was to me, it was a better found footage film than
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
yeah.
films of all time.
than
Wow.
Blair Witch.
This is like the first time that I've been in a room with 2 other people who liked Cloverfield as much as I did.
Yeah.
Like most people really shit on it, and I was like, no, it was great. And they're like, oh, the monster. And
yeah.
I'm like, no, that's the point. Like it's like you're living in the room in the moment with them, and you're scared of the
Well,
monster.
everybody I ever talked to, sorry for splitting for Cloverfield just for a second. Everybody I ever talked to about Cloverfield, they get really, really mad because it's like, they don't like show us the monster. I went to a monster movie to see a monster movie. I'm like, dude, that's like the cool of it. Like you feel like you're there.
You're like you're in it. Like you're not gonna see the monster all the time.
You're scared too.
Like I want Cloverfield the VR experience.
But yeah, so like if you follow the ARG, like that movie is 10 times more interesting because you catch stuff that you wouldn't have otherwise. The very last, for example, and I'm going to get to the Stranger Things thing in a moment, but just for example, the very last scene of the movie is a flashback shot to when they're at Coney Island and they're hanging out. It's the girl and the guy and they're hanging out saying like, I had a good day. The first shot, sorry with the microphone, the very first shot of that scene is showing the ocean. And if you look really closely, you see something falling out of the sky. On one of the websites, there is a company, the company that Rob works for, talks about losing one of their satellites.
Oh my god.
That thing falling is the satellite that wakes up the monster.
Yeah.
That is the whole reason the monster comes out. You don't realize that, though, if you don't like follow the ARG or stuff like that. So you get like a lot of cool like insight into the world.
I love shit
And so
like that.
it blurs the line between our world and this fictional world that they've created.
That's Jabrams at his best right there, bro.
Very cool stuff. A couple of other games and movies and stuff have done stuff like that. The Dark Knight, Halo, I think either 2 or 3 did something like that. Anyways, Stranger Things 3 is doing something for it, or season 3. So essentially, I'm going to pull up my phone just so I can get this correct.
His Android fin.
So in season 3, so Steve works at that ice cream shop, right?
Scoops
Scoops
Ahoy.
Scoops Ahoy, right?
Megan got us 2 costumes for Halloween.
So that's awesome.
Your wife is the fucking best. Yes.
So they are doing like a cross promotion thing with Baskin Robbins,
Right.
and they're like, you can get Scoops Ahoy themed ice cream, like flavored ice cream.
My
and stuff.
sister-in-law Adrienne was telling me about that.
So-
She was like stoked.
If you go to Baskin Robbins and get the flavored
podcast.
stuff, fans discovered that there was a Morse code hidden on some of the items in some of the commercials that Baskin Robbins was doing for it. The Morse code, I hit puberty again. The Morse code.
You were just very excited.
The Morse code translated to a phone number. If you called it, it prompts you to enter a password.
Oh my god.
This is when we get to some of the spoiler stuff. If you so let's see. So the password you needed to enter turned out to be the name of the communication system Dustin made at the camp that he went to. The password is Cerebro.
Oh,
Yes.
that's cool.
So entering it makes the operator
Dusty
enlist
bun.
you. It makes the operator enlist you in quote Operation Scoop Snoops, a covert mission to shut down portals causing anomalies around the world. You must complete the 5 missions over the next 5 days. So this ARG, I believe, is done for the most part, and I won't get into the rest in case, because you can still go and solve the puzzles and stuff yourself.
We don't want to like completely spoil this awesome experience. It's like letting you know this is a thing that exists.
So yeah, just so I'll leave it at that. But that's what's going on with Stranger Things. I fucking love stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember there was a game or something that was was it for Death Stranding or was it for
Death Stranding?
It was for Death Stranding. It was another ARG that they did.
Which we still to this day, I every now and then I get on that Discord page, and they still don't know if it's like real or not. Like they don't know if this is some fucking guy's fever dream that he's doing some like crazy game or whatever, or like this is actually a Kojima thing. I wouldn't put it past either or.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you follow Kojima's stuff, he gets out there. But like, it's still like there's just weird stuff with that.
Like I like how like the first with the Cloverfield stuff you're talking about with ARG kind of explaining it. I remember the one I remember the most was the one they did for The Dark Knight.
Yes, they had all the propaganda for
They had
Harvey Dent.
I Believe in Harvey Dent, and then they had it where they changed this there was a website, IBelieveInHarveyDent.com.
Mm-hmm.
You go to it, and they change it to the Joker stuff. They had a blank page that looked just black, but you highlighted it. It was ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
One of them was a hyperlink. Brought you to the hyperlink of the Joker, giving you the middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
Then at San Diego Comic-Con, they had this whole like in-city experience.
So cool.
And it was like an ARG to all like joining the Joker's crazy side. Mm-hmm. And then so within the movie, whenever it got to the point of deciding with the Joker saying, you know, I know how humanity is. Mm-hmm. He's also talking about all the people that follow the ARG. Mm-hmm. And so like at that moment, you're like, holy crap.
There's always,
they got us.
When it comes to like the movies and the ARGs, there's always that one point in the movie where like you see how like it integrated into it. There's Cloverfield again, the sequel to Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Was really cool because parts of the ARG took place in Louisiana.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Someone had to go out. One of the bits for it was you had to follow these coordinates. The coordinates led to Covington, Louisiana. So somebody went out to Covington and found buried at this farm was like an ammunition box.
Yeah.
When you open it up, was a bunch of goodies in it. There was Swamp Pop, I think, because Swamp Pop was involved in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He had it in the bunker. He had it in the bunker, and actually, if you went to Swamp Pop's website, they had a special like Apocalypse like brand soda you could order, but it was out of stock.
Oh my god!
And I emailed them asking about it, and they had some like cryptic message. It was really cool.
So for those of you who don't know, Swamp Pop is the most amazing soda on the planet.
They're really good.
It's made here in Lafayette. The people who make it also own a po' boy shop in Lafayette called Pop's Po' Boys. They used to own Viva La Waffle.
Viva La Waffle.
I know. Viva La Waffle was a food truck. They made sandwiches out of waffles, and oh my god, like angels would cry when you ate one of their waffle sandwiches. And then we were like really sad because the food truck was gone. Mm-hmm. And am I too loud?
We're too passionate.
Oh, sorry. I'm like...
It's okay.
I can project from back here.
Kelly's just really, really, really excited about Swamp Pop.
I am. Like, y'all don't understand. And I have been on a crazy diet for over a year where I've, like, tried to avoid really sugary sodas. Mm-hmm. And I miss Swamp Pop so bad.
Nothing
like,
beats a Satsuma Fizz.
It's got 60 grams of sugar in it. I just want one so bad.
See, I'm a fan of the ginger ale one. That's mine.
Mm-hmm.
I go
See, John really likes the praline. Praline is delicious, but it's a little too sweet.
Diabetes of the
strawberry.
Diabetes.
Strawberry is my go-to. But for real though, if you're listening and you're not from Lafayette,
order some. You can buy it online.
Yes, you can buy it online.
Find it, order it. Hermagerd.
But okay. I'm going to just this last thing, and then we can talk about whatever.
I got one more thing after that last thing.
Okay,
it's Stranger Things.
I do too. It's for Stranger Things, but it might be the same.
It's for Soda Pop.
So
Soda Pop and Stranger Things.
Also in that box was a jigsaw puzzle piece, which everyone was like, "What's up with that?" In the movie, there's a scene where one of the characters is like, "I'm bored. I'm gonna solve a jigsaw puzzle," and there's the scene where he's like, "There's a piece missing." And you're like, oh shit, that's the piece that the person found. Like that stuff like that is just like really neat to be involved in.
I didn't realize that was a tie-in.
Yeah, that is
freaking cool.
Yeah. That's amazing. Could you imagine being the person that found that box and you're
then, like watching the movie and you're like,
oh,
I've got a golden ticket. Okay, I want to do my one thing. So Stranger Things, you know, they've been doing, like you said, they did the ARG. They have the video game that you could buy on Amazon.
Oh yeah,
they have like and on Switch. And on Switch, it's like a little action role play. But also Coca-Cola did do the thing, where they actually made a gift package they only have 75,000 of glass bottles that they made specifically like Stranger Things logo, but they also only on their website released new Coke recipe.
Didn't it suck?
I've never tried new Coke.
I bought it before you guys got here.
Did you really?
Did you?
I saw you
did.
posted it in Slack, but I didn't realize that because I was like just quickly reading through it because I had just gotten here and I didn't see. Did you say that you bought it or you were just showing it to us?
I was like, I think I might buy it. And I just like, screw it. I bought it.
Oh my
it was
God.
free shipping and it was only $20. It's special edition. It comes in a box.
Oh, that's a good price.
That's not bad.
I really want to try New Coke. I've never tried it. I think it
neither.
came out before I was born.
I get 2 cans. So we can get shot glasses.
I was about to say,
little shot glasses.
well, I'll get like a little bit of Coke, a little bit of New Coke. Because everybody said how awful it was. But I mean, like, I don't like Coke to begin with. So maybe I'll like New Coke.
Well, that's what I loved about that whole bit where they're shitting on I think Mike because it was either Mike
Yeah.
or Dustin.
No, it was Lucas.
It was
They're
Lucas.
shitting on Lucas about drinking. He's like, no, it's way better than old Coke. Old Coke was all out of fashion. This is good.
So funny.
Okay, so my question real quick. Did you call the number on the phone? Like if
I did.
Okay, so I guess you could call this an ARG. Someone realized that the phone number, this isn't really, I don't want to say this is a spoiler. I don't think it really is.
I mean, we're already ass deep in this.
Why don't we call the number?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Do you have
I could pull it up because I texted you and John about it because y'all were talking about.
Y'all look it up while I explain.
Go ahead, explain.
So if you're watching Stranger Things 3, there's a part where they bring, what's his name, Alexei, even though Hopper keeps calling him Smirnoff. They bring him to a Russian translator because he only speaks Russian, and the Russian translator has a turned dial phone, and in the middle of it is a phone number. So someone with a very keen eye who lives in Illinois said, "Wait a minute, that is my area code. That's a real phone number. Normally you get the 555, and that way, you know, Hollywood can keep you from actually calling the phone number because it's not real, whatever." So she was like, "Crap, that's my area code. It's a real number, and you can call the number."
So it's 618-625-8313, and here's what happens.
Oh God, I'm excited.
Watch, Eric's got the wrong number and a person picks up.
That'd be great. That would stay in.
Hi, you have reached the residence of Murray Bauman. Mom, if this is you, please hang up and call me between the hours of 5 and 6 p.m. as previously discussed, okay? And if this is Joyce, thank you for calling. I've been trying to reach you. I have an update. It's about, well, it's probably best if we speak in person. It's not good or bad, but it's something. And if this is anyone but my mother or Joyce, well, you think you're real clever getting my number, don't you? Well, here's some breaking news for you. You're not clever. You're not special. You are simply one of the many, many nimwits to call here, and the closest you will ever get to me is this pre-recorded message. So, at the beep, do me a favor. Hang up and never call here again. You are a parasite. Thank you and good day.
Sorry, this mailbox is full and cannot accept any more recordings. Thank you for using the voicemail system. Goodbye.
So what I want to know is what
That
happens
is
if you do call
fantastic.
between 5 and 6.
I never thought about that.
Because I just checked, like, when he said you have to call between 5 and 6, I was like, watch, it's 7:30.
Because they're in Indiana, right? Mm-hmm. I think they're in Indiana.
They're in Illinois. So
is that our time zone?
yes, Illinois is,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
So I think we need to
I'll
do
give it a
that.
shot tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll try it
We'll
again.
live stream it.
But just that,
It's like 5 minutes live stream.
tune in to our Facebook between 5 and 6. I don't know, just pick a random time between 5 and 6, I guess.
Yeah, pick a random time. It'll be up there after in
Central
time.
time.
Central.
But yeah, stuff like that really just like I feel the same way about ARGs that I feel that Kelly feels about bleeding eyes. It's just beautiful.
Update, she's still alive. We saw her, my coworker and I went to get lunch, and she was like at the corner, and she was running up to cars putting like a piece of paper up to the window, like still asking for money. She had a lot more energy this time.
Oh,
That's good.
But she never got to my car. Like I was panicking legit, and the light turned green before she could get to me, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But I did get to point her out to my coworker. I was like, that's her. That's the chick with the bloody eyes. So anyway, that's that.
What a great thing to be known for.
That's good
yeah.
stuff.
Bless her heart.
I guess other thing that happened the past week, Nintendo made a pretty big announcement.
A pretty
I'm
light
excited.
announcement.
Oh, it was a light. It was a light. Lite.
Eric got a hairball.
Yeah.
So Nintendo announced the Switch Lite. I'm going to talk about it because I'm excited. Hope you guys don't mind.
Go for
Go
it.
ahead.
So it is going to be $100 less than the original Switch. It's going to be $199.99, and it's releasing on September 20th of this year. So I think the one thing that I appreciate about Nintendo is that they have a tendency to release their systems before holiday, like well before holiday. And I love that because you get that. You can either pick it up before the madness of the holiday, or it's just enough time that you can put it on your wish list. So anyway, it is coming out in 3 different colors. It's going to be in yellow, gray, and turquoise. And it's basically, it looks like the toddler version of a Switch. It's going to be great for kids. You can pop that in their hands. You don't have to worry about the Joy-Cons coming off. It's all integrated. It looks like a Sony Game Gear.
It
to
does.
me.
It
Yeah.
does look like the Sega game.
Sega.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I didn't mean Sony. Sega. I could see it in my head. I could see it in my head. But I was also thinking of the... Bing! I was also thinking of the Sony PSP. It looks like a PSP. Yeah.
The PSP, yeah.
I just merged the PSP and the Game Gear in one.
I'd buy it.
The Sony Game SP.
If I didn't already have a Switch, I'd get it.
That's the thing. So like,
Well, and no, I totally get that. And like, I don't think so. My opinion is that I don't think anyone who already has a Switch really needs one, because the original Switch has a bigger screen. The Switch Lite isn't going to have that. It's not going to have the rumble feature. You can't remove the Joy-Cons.
it doesn't switch.
It does not switch. It's like, it's the Nintendo One Piece. I don't know.
Shouldn't they call it a Solid instead of a Switch?
Yeah. The Nintendo handheld Solid. It doesn't have the same ring, I guess. So it's gonna be compatible. You know, you can play all the Switch games on it. It's gonna play regular games. The screen's gonna be smaller. It's not gonna have the rumble. Basically, it's made for people who want to bring it with them. It's not gonna fit in a dock. There's no dock. So it's also not gonna go to the television. You can only play it on the handheld.
Do you
Okay.
see this being the end of Nintendo making their typical handhelds, like their 3DSs and stuff?
I don't know. I want to say no, because the 3DS had something that no other handheld system had, and that was the 3D function without glasses. They got a lot of pushback on that because, like, it hurts kids' eyes, and some people can't see the 3D. And
To be fair, though, fucking ingenious.
It was amazing.
Like, that's a really just
was
neat
smart.
idea. I mean, it's kind of gimmicky, but the concept
No.
of being able to see 3D without glasses is...
when they first announced
Insane.
it, I mean, like, I was working at GameStop when they first announced it, and I was like, what is this witchcraft? Like, how? How is this possible that I'm going to be able to play in 3D? Bullshit. I didn't believe it at all. And then they came in. Like, we got our display system, and I got to see it in person, and I was just floored. Like, I couldn't believe that the game was coming off the screen. And, like, it was seamless.
Super neat.
It was
Oh, yeah.
great. It was great. Now, in all seriousness, I've been through a few 3DSs, 3DSi, if you will.
If that's a plural.
And I never played with the 3D. I always turned it off.
Yeah, like I said, Nintendo is really good at doing gimmicky stuff.
Yeah.
The concepts themselves are really cool, but they don't
They don't follow through.
do anything for you in the long run.
Yeah. So you can still use the Switch Lite. You can link up. You can still play multiplayer with people who have the regular Switch. Like I said, you just can't put it on the TV. You can also use the Joy-Cons to play with it if it's like a multiplayer game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As far as I know, I could be wrong, but I think I read that you can use the Joy-Cons on a multiplayer game. Could be wrong. I'll have to look into that for sure. But if you're not sure, look it up. I'm not Wikipedia. Look it up.
So, what was the price and when is it coming out?
I said that at the beginning. $199.99 September 20th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I find interesting though is this isn't even the only variation of the Nintendo Switch that they're releasing. So
that we know of.
Oh, well, no, they've already said that they're gonna do something else. They haven't announced what yet.
Interesting.
I remember seeing something like Nintendo filed some. It's not a new patent, but it's like a update to the current technology patent for the Switch itself.
So they're gonna make it 3D.
I foresee a version of the Switch that is purely home console, like a PlayStation.
Yeah,
like it sits at home. You don't take it to go, and maybe it has enhanced visuals.
What fun is that? But no,
what's the point?
Right?
Station.
They better not call it a Switch.
It got the solid, the Switch, and the station.
But in all seriousness, though, we have a Switch already, and John plays it a lot. He actually moved the dock into our bedroom because at night he plays before he goes to sleep. So he was having to bring the handheld to bed, and then a lot of times he would end up falling asleep, and he'd fall asleep with it in his hands, or it would hit him in the head, and or he would stay up and he would play in the living room while I would go to bed. So he was like, screw it, I'm bringing the dock in the bedroom, and then he can take the Joy-Cons off and he can just chill. Pretty much. Well, him and his brother had like a whole conversation because his brother did the same thing. Yeah. Like, not knowing that they both did it, Adam also brought the dock into the bedroom. So when Adrian's asleep, Adam's playing the Switch. And so they had this whole conversation because you can sit however you want. You can put your hands however you want, however you're comfortable, and you can still.
I never thought about
and it's not like a stupid motion control thing like the Wii. So you
don't have to shake it.
Unless it's like Mario Odyssey where you gotta
unless you're playing 1-2 Switch and you gotta jerk off a cow.
I forgot about that. Oh, that was a great Article 12.
That was such a good time that I don't know why I didn't see the live today. Anyways.
Many reasons. But anyway, so, we've got that. John plays the Switch a lot. And I'm not saying that I want the Switch Lite because he, monopolizes the Switch. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not true. Anytime I want to play it, I can say, hey, I want to play it, and we're good. Because he gets excited. He's like, oh, you want to play a video game? Because I'm so busy, I don't have time to play anymore.
I do the same exact thing with my wife. She's like, I was like, wait, you want to play Mario Kart? Yeah, we can play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I can do it. Let's do it.
Like, when I have the time and, the will, I want to play. But a lot of times I just end up playing some stupid game on my phone because I don't feel like getting, involved in a game. So I'm going to get one just because that way we have two in the house without having to buy, the full Switch. I'm fine with just a handheld. I have always been fine with, the DS. I've always had a DS or a 3DS, a Vita. I've had all of those, So I'm cool with it, and I think that it'll be fun because now John and I can truly play multiplayer games, and I can pack it up and bring it with us on vacation, stuff like that. I can bring it to work, and it's just simpler. It's not going to be as heavy, So that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's definitely like me. I know that's the reason I love the Switch so much too. Is that handability? Because you guys at home can't see it, but I keep my Switch on my desk. And so it's whenever I'm rendering something or anything like that, in After Effects or Premiere, I'll just pop the Switch on and play while that's rendering, and then pop it back off when it's not.
It is a very convenient system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it saved Nintendo.
I think so too.
Definitely.
I think it's safe to say because I was in love with the Wii U. So
the Switch prototype, you mean?
Yeah. So we got a Wii day one because at the time, my boyfriend at the time was working for GameStop. My whole life revolved around GameStop for a good 10 years. And so we got the Wii, and I don't know if y'all remember, but it was incredibly hard to find a Wii for like a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And little known fact, places like Kmart, people didn't think to go to Kmart because a lot of Kmarts were shutting down and they were just like nothing, but they had a game section.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, they did.
Yeah. We went to Kmart one afternoon and asked, do you guys have any Wiis? Because we work for GameStop. We're like totally sold out. What's going on?
Yeah, Wii.
And they were like, we have like 10 in the back.
Uh-huh.
Like, no one thinks to come and buy them here. And we were like just mind blown because no one thought to go. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. We had a Wii. I love the Wii. I thought the Wii was revolutionary. The fact that, motion and your controllers weren't attached to each other. You had free range of motion. I thought that was really cool. And then the Wii U came out, and like the screen in the middle was just so cool to me. And there were so many games where like you were playing on your TV and then your screen was something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like that was your your backpack with all of your stuff in it. So if you had to change weapons, that's
Wind
where
Waker
it
was like super good for that. Yeah.
And then if you were like, well, I want to take this game portable, there are multiple games that you could bring with you, and they put Netflix on there too. So I used to have this huge garden tub at my old house, and I would prop it up next to the garden tub and I'd watch Netflix. It only had about 30 minutes of battery, so I'd have to I could only watch one episode.
Was not good.
No, it was not. So I could watch like one episode of a sitcom, but that was like perfect time. 30 minutes in the tub and I was done. And so like I've always been a big fan of Nintendo and their progressiveness and their just ingenuity, basically.
Just not for multiplayer.
No,
that.
And I'm
one step at a time. They'll get there.
I know, right? And I was just really sad that the Wii U had so much potential, and it just shit the bed.
Yeah, well, it's because they named it the Wii U.
Wii U.
Nobody knew what it was, or like it's just like a attachment. It's just like the 32X for the
they should have called it something other.
Genesis.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been Wii anything. It should have just been like a whole new system name. So when the Switch came out, I was like, fucking A, it's got, the separate controllers, and you can put on your TV, and it's a handheld, they saved Nintendo! Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful for the Switch, because I had heard rumors for a long time that Nintendo was going to go the way of Sega. Mm-hmm. And that they had gotten to a point after the Wii U, they said, all right, we've got like one more shot at this before we just become game developers, basically, before we just make games and no more systems. And that broke my heart because Nintendo was such a pioneer in gaming. To hear them be reduced to just making games for other systems made me really upset.
No,
but
they still got it though.
They got it, man. They came back with the Switch and I was stoked.
Still can't wait for Luigi Mansion 3.
No, me either.
That and all the games that they have for it, and like they're like immense third-party support too, is super helpful.
Yeah. That's another reason that I want the Switch Lite.
It still blows my mind that they managed to make Doom and Wolfenstein 2 run on a Switch.
Yeah.
And Witcher 3 is coming out.
Yeah.
Like I want to see the port. Like I want to see how it goes. But yeah, so Switch Lite coming to you soon in like a month, in like 2 months.
Said at a theater near you.
Coming to you soon in 2 months.
The
2
living
months.
room near you. To your hands near you.
It's also smart releasing it because they can also like see if they have like slight kinks and work out for the second shipment. That'd probably be like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Right before Christmas. That's also smart too.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure if you buy from GameStop, you get that warranty, y'all.
So the next and last thing that we're going to discuss is
second to last.
Second to last?
Yeah, we're going to briefly touch on something else.
But let's briefly touch on that something right now before we get into it, because I think that the last discussion is going to be funny and last a while.
Sure.
So we're just going to briefly scroll over something real quick of new streaming services. Warner Media announced their new streaming service called HBO Max.
So I know a lot of people have been like panicking because Netflix announced that there was not going to be any more Friends. Like,
Or
no more
Office.
Friends and no more The Office. And so people were like, my life is over. And I was like, it's fine. You'll be fine.
It's fine. You'll be good. You'll be good.
So then it came shortly after that they're moving it to this new service, HBO Max.
And so it's like all the CW shows, all the TBS shows, all the TNT shows, the True TVs, everything pretty much that Warner Media owns will now be on HBO Max. It's not, so HBO's just, I don't know, people are still confused of why they're calling it HBO Max. Time Warner or Warner Media does own it.
Why do you call it Time Warner Max?
It's
Because as soon as you said HBO Max, I thought, well, what the hell is HBO Go?
Because, like, you associate HBO, like, you're already associating HBO with big name stuff. So people are going to want to jump on that.
All right. Well, yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Smart marketing.
and so they
Nobody cares
I'm
about
not,
Time
I'm
Warner.
not sure the little bit of the history of it. So Time Warner was a company, then AT&T bought out Time Warner, and that's when it changed its name to Warner Media.
Did you say
Okay.
AT&T?
Yeah,
Like the phone company?
yeah.
Yeah.
They also bought DirecTV out and all those. Like they're gobbling companies up.
Like Disney.
Like and so they bought that out, and then under that there was like, okay, so that's like the same thing that's happened with like the DC Universe app. That app's not really going as well as it thought it would, so they're going to be taking all the content they had on there and putting it to HBO Max. And so they're just going to make, okay, HBO Max is now going to be our all thing for every show that we own.
So
See-
is HBO Max going to encompass HBO Go? Yes. Okay. So that'll be included in the price.
Yes.
So
So it's the price they're looking at is like 16, like they haven't announced it yet, but what the market's showing is $16-17 a month.
Okay.
But yeah,
I get concerned with the possibility of an oversaturation with streaming services. Because people like Netflix and Hulu because almost everything that people ever want to watch are on those two platforms. If it's not on Netflix, it's most likely on Hulu and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so, like, The Office is going off of Netflix now because it's going to the CBS's new streaming or NBC's new streaming platform that's coming out. And
Universal, NBC.
yeah, Universal, and you got this DC streaming. I like this HBO one because it's like several different like channels that are getting like put into this one streaming service. That's kind of cool, like the CW and the HBO and all that stuff. That's cool, but like these services that like fall under one specific like brand or one company, and like you can only watch their stuff on there.
Like CBS, like I want to
At what
watch.
point is it going to be too much and like people aren't going to care anymore?
Yeah, like I want to watch Star Trek, and I'm like, oh, you have to have the CBS streaming service, and I'm like, well, fuck you. Then I guess I'm not watching Star Trek. I'll just watch the Orville and be happy.
Star Trek Discovery was I can't like.
I hear it's amazing.
I'll give you my login.
And okay, because I really want to watch Picard as well. Like Picard is my captain.
You know what we could do? I mean, we have an area. We can do viewing parties
Yes.
for Picard.
Oh my god, yes.
I think that's next year.
That makes me happy.
So like now the thing is like what you were saying is like, so Disney Plus, that's releasing also. It's gonna be $6.99 a month, but Disney also owns Hulu. And so if you pay the Disney Plus, the $6.99, you'll also get your Hulu subscription with it.
Okay.
And they also own ESPN.
Yes, they do.
And they also own ABC.
Yes.
And they also own your parents. They own everything.
They own everything, you know. And so like you'll be able to catch all that stuff there.
And
you
Fox
know?
now.
Yeah, they own Fox now. So
Marvel.
all Fox stuff. And then you have to look at Universal, NBC Universal, all the stuff they own, not just on their channel, but also on those other channels too. So they'll be like bringing those in. So I feel like we'll end up at the end of this streaming war, as I'm going to call it, with like 6 really solid streaming channels that's still going to be $100 cheaper a month than going for cable.
Yeah, and that's one of my concerns is because we cut cable because I said, you know, there's no purpose. So just real quick while I'm thinking about this, if you go way back in the day, before we had smart TVs, before we had smartphones, I'm sure you guys remember.
That was only 10 years ago.
Netflix was not a streaming service.
No, it was a DVD.
Netflix started as a DVD company where you would go to their website on your PC and you would make a queue of all the movies that you wanted to watch, and they would send you one at a time, and or two, depending on whatever your subscription was. And you got to keep it as long as you wanted. And then when you were done, you sent it back and they sent you the next one. So the faster you watch your movies, the faster you got the next one, right?
What's funny is that they still do that, too.
They do. That's still an
People don't
option.
think about
yeah.
that.
And so they started doing that. And then there was like Redbox. And then there was the Blockbuster box. And then, you know, like all these boxes started to pop up. And
Blockbuster.
there was a Blockbuster box.
No,
That's
there
what happened.
was. It
It's
just
like,
hit
hey,
me.
we
I was
have,
like,
Yeah.
we have
Oh,
a
man.
store that we decided to do this with.
Yeah. And so that was such a hot thing. But Netflix started as just movies. You know, you look back on it, they didn't have exclusives. They were just movies. And then they brought in the streaming service. And I told myself, I don't need that. I'm not getting into the streaming shit because that's stupid. I don't care. I can rent movies anytime. I don't need this.
Dumb.
And now I've had Netflix for years.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Hulu. I was like, why do I want Hulu? Like, I can just watch the shows. I have a DVR. I don't need Hulu. Now I have Hulu, and I've had Hulu for a long time. I have the no ads plan.
That's the only way I watch the Orville's on Hulu.
Yeah, like that's the only way we watch anything because we totally ditched cable. So we've got that, and we've got Netflix, we've got Hulu, we've got Amazon, we've got HBO Go. We have all these streaming services. You know, I'm gonna have Disney.
And not only that, but like, there's also like their original shows that people love the show. I mean, we were just talking about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You know? What was the first like original that Netflix did that people were like, "Holy crap!" I'm trying to remember.
Oh God, what's the name of it? It was based out of Miami. Burn Notice was their first
Really?
big original.
Burn Notice, really?
Was their first big
I
original.
thought Burn Notice was on USA.
It was on USA. It was on TV.
I was remember. Well, it might not have been that, but I'm seeing the actor. But I remember they're like, because they recently canceled it. Like it was like a couple years ago they canceled it, but it was like the first. I
was just really trying to think because I remember like hearing about it and it was like really good and I needed to watch it. And,
but like with like let's say Stranger Things, say next season's the last season of Stranger Things.
I hope so, honestly.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, I loved it. I don't want it to start being bad.
No, yeah.
Same.
They're also
I
getting
want
too
Ford to
old.
just end it.
They're also getting too old.
Yeah.
Like you have to also look at their.
Well, I told John, I was like, it's time to let those kids go to do their own thing. We don't want to Harry Potter pigeonhole them. Because eventually,
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown was fantastic in Godzilla King of the Monsters, just saying.
Yeah.
I love her.
She was the best part of that movie.
I love her so much. The kid
she
who plays
raps.
Finn, though, John and I are convinced that he's a douchebag, like in
The
real
kid who
life.
plays Mike. Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, Finn
yeah.
Wolfhard. Yeah, the kid who plays Mike. And then the kid who plays Will is like super cute in real life. Like his hair isn't all like moppy and stuff. And so like I saw him and I was like, who's that kid? Shit, that's Will. Same thing with Billy. Like
Oh yeah,
Billy has
Dacre.
like
Billy,
short hair.
he was the Red Ranger in the Power Rangers movie.
He
God, was he really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
He's
in the
a
reboot.
Beautiful
So
dude.
I think Jeff auditioned for
Jeff
that role.
was gonna be Billy.
Jeff was going to be Billy, but the Power Rangers do beat him out.
Yeah.
Wait, Jeff.
Pearson.
His audition, because he told us he got auditioned for season 2 of Stranger Things,
What?
and he didn't make it. We didn't know what role it was until it came out, but we realized because he told us about what kind of role he was supposed to be doing, and then when the season got released, me and my best friend were watching it, and we're like, "Holy shit, he was gonna be Billy."
Oh yeah, and so like I remember Jeff sent me over the audition video, say, "Hey, can you just give me your opinion on it?" It was like him doing stunt driving and like doing lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, man, I mean, that looks great. I mean, the camera's a little shaky just because where it's positioned, but I mean, yeah, your audition was great. It's good. I'm sure I'm auditioning for Stranger Things season 2.
I'd imagine he's a
"That's
little
awesome."
old for that role, though.
Yeah, that might have been why.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
audition was actually really cool, and I don't know if you
I think
saw
I
it.
remember
but
that. I think
it
he
was
posted it on
really
Facebook.
awesome. But yeah, I think it probably was like an age thing.
House of Cards.
House of Cards
Was
That's
the first
what.
Netflix
that was
original.
what it was.
with
Shortly
with
followed
what's
by
her face?
Hemlock
Lucy.
Grove. Yeah,
Hemlock
Kevin
Grove.
Spacey, yeah. But yeah, shortly followed by Hemlock Grove. A couple months later was Orange is the New Black.
And then
Marco Polo, Bloodline. It just
went on and on.
Yeah.
Bloodline. That was the show I was thinking
Oh,
of.
okay.
Bloodline.
But
And
yeah,
then you
House
got,
of Cards. That was what I was
They had the
thinking.
Netflix Marvel deal.
Oh,
That
yeah.
there's no more.
Oh, God. Daredevil was the best.
Oh, dude, season 3 of Daredevil.
I've got to finish
in my
Daredevil.
opinion, season 3 of Daredevil, and this is just my opinion. A lot of people disagree with me. That was the best season of a superhero TV show that was ever made.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
my
really
opinion.
enjoyed Daredevil, like, across the board. I like Jessica Jones. John didn't.
My best friend likes Jessica Jones. Yeah.
But
super huge fan.
We really need to finish. John, if you're listening, he's not. We should finish all of the Marvel shows
Before
on
they
Netflix.
disappear forever.
Right, they're almost gone.
Forever.
No, it's fine. I'll have Disney.
They're not going to be on Disney+.
Oh, they're not. They're just not at
No,
all.
they're
Okay.
still going to be on Netflix though for a while, because Netflix was the producer of those shows. So, but yeah, so the streaming wars, we'll see where that's going to come to a head to. I think I'm fascinated by everything on it, and I just can't wait to see what more we got, because I love cutting cost as much as I can.
That's nice. It's
Yeah.
always nice.
Because I don't like spending money. So last thing we got here.
Let's talk about Steve Buscemi as Jennifer Lawrence, shall we?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you heard of this crazy thing called deep fakes. I had to look it up on Wikipedia today. And what Wikipedia told me, it is a technique for human image synthesis based on artificial intelligence. It is used to combine and superimpose existing images and videos onto source images or videos using a machine learning technique known as generative
Adversarial network.
what Kelli said. Yeah. So, and apparently they said deepfake was the coin was termed in 2017.
You had the backwards. The term was coined.
The coin was turned.
The coin
I love
was
it.
turned.
So flipping a coin on that one. Yeah, it says the capability of having used in creating fake celebrity pornographic videos and revenge porn.
Which is terrifying.
Where
It is
all
terrifying.
things originate.
Deepfakes can also be used for fake news and malicious hoaxes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So like
The most fascinating / terrifying invention in Jesus in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
I'd say.
like it could potentially change everything for good and for bad.
I feel like the technology kind of started coming around whenever they made like Benjamin Button. You know, and like they really for that movie they really put like a whole bunch of motion tracking dots on his face and did every facial expression. But then like once they started coming up with like the de-aging of Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War and like those kinds of
De-aging
things.
is weird. As
It
shit.
is.
It
It's
is as
super. Side note: I say "super" way too much. Like I use it as my describer for everything. That's super awesome.
But that's like but that's why I love you.
I just catch myself doing weird things sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I need to stop doing that.
It's super great.
Yeah, it's super annoying to me.
Like I know like for me, because I like doing visual effects. Like I love doing it, and like seeing how they're able to like make it happen, make it seem so realistic. Definitely the most recent one of the Jim Carrey one. Like it like screws with my mind. Just because I'm like, man, how can I do that? I don't want to do it maliciously or anything. I want to put like, you know, Eric's face on like Arnold Schwarzenegger's body and like in True Lies.
I think that like for entertainment purposes, like to put an actor in a different role, like the Jim Carrey in The Shining, that whole thing. I think it's really neat to do stuff like that. Like to sort of envision something that you already know with someone else's face in that. I think that it is terrifying because it's also a way to make someone say something that they've never said or to do something that they've never done. And so it's like, where do you draw that line? Like, especially with, you know, politics and
There's a very big video that it's a little old now, but Jordan Peele doing Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And
like saying things that he never said, but people
and by, like
people are dumb. People are dumb and they fall for everything. But if you're looking at someone's face and you're like, this is clearly that person saying this thing, like, why would you doubt that it's real?
And the biggest thing is, it was in one of the Corridor digital videos that I had sent you. I think it's the Scorpion.
I scourged through that. That shit was amazing.
There's a line that one of the guys from that crew says where he's like, this is the worst that this is ever going to look, too. Like,
yeah, it's only going to get better.
It's only going to get better. And it's already, like,
pretty good.
Really good. And that you can see certain, like, in certain moments it doesn't look natural, but there are some points where you're just like, that is clearly Arnold Schwarzenegger on Bill Hader's face. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just crazy.
Oh dude, no, the Arnold Schwarzenegger on Bill Hader's face, that one actually.
Like how it morphs into it so naturally, yeah. Like you don't even did you see it, Kelly?
No,
I'll just show it to you after this.
It looks good. It looks natural.
It's really good.
There's a bunch that I need to look into because so far I've heard of deep fakes. I knew that it was like an issue, mostly with making people say certain things they've never said, and that being a concern. But then I saw the one with Jim Carrey and The Shining, and that was really the only one that I've really seen that I took the time to watch the whole thing. And I was like, this could be brilliant or this could be awful. And I'm really worried that it's going to be mostly awful.
and the thing is, it's been around since 2017, and there hasn't been, like, that we know of, extreme craziness with it. Mm-hmm. You know?
But that's the thing, that we know of.
Too,
like, what if it has? Like, what if we've been duped by a deep fake and we don't know it?
Well, it's like, let me put something. I think I sent the link to y'all earlier today about Adobe Voco. So Adobe in 2015-16, that was during their Adobe conference, they're kind of like just releasing something just to show where we're going in the next 10-20 years. And it was a software called Adobe Voco. And what it would do is it would analyze all the dialogue recorded from a movie of an actor, and you're able to not have to get the actor to come back in to do ADR. If you don't know what that is, automated dialogue recording, which is just redoing the audio. You could just type in the words, and the actor would say it in the inflection of how it would be said. And so, like, and that was another thing. Jordan Peele was the person who was the moderator. And so they took Jordan Peele's voice and made Jordan Peele say something that he did not say on that stage.
Yeah.
And so, like, they took that project and killed it because they kind of realized, okay,
this could be bad.
So they kind of killed it.
I kind of wish they do that with AI. but you know.
Oh yeah, we don't want Skynet. Yeah. but like, so now we have like these deep fakes, and we have these craziness, like what was the one the Elon Musk and Charlie Sheen, where
I haven't seen that.
They took the Charlie Sheen like winning interview, like he went off like, oh, Tiger Blood and everything. They put Elon Musk's face on Charlie Sheen for it, and it works.
Although knowing Elon Musk, he was like, I want to record that. I want to do my own because he's fucking nuts and I love him.
He's a strange fellow.
And that's what I love about him. He's just a normal dude who's just super smart. Like, do y'all follow him on Twitter?
No.
I should, though.
Please do. I think I've told y'all both before.
Made flamethrowers for public purchase.
He's like this big kid with way too much money, and he's just enough of an asshole, but not enough for you to dislike him. You know what I mean?
Right in that sweet spot, baby.
And like, he uses his money just to create really dumb things. So also follow Bored Elon Musk. It's just tweets of like random ideas. I don't think it's really him, but it's just like random ideas that Elon Musk, air quotes, comes up with. Good stuff, man. Like, he's a trip. I really enjoy following him because he's a good dude too.
Crazy.
Like, he doesn't patent anything.
Yeah, man, he smoked weed with Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
That's great. But have you ever tried DMT?
Within the deepfakes, there was another one I watched today, and I had to rewind it a few times. and it was the Kate McKinnon Hillary Clinton one. Because you know, like Kate McKinnon, whenever they're doing the debates, she was the person who played Hillary Clinton on SNL.
Right.
Well, they did a deep fake where they put Hillary Clinton's face on Kate McKinnon when she was doing it, and it looked like clips
Hillary Clinton
from the debate.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you take that completely out of context, you thought she was being serious.
Like if you've never seen that episode of SNL, or if you didn't realize what was going on, which is the concerning issue, is that, like I said, not only are there dumb people out there who are going to take that and run with it, but you also have people who are just ignorant. They're not necessarily dumb, but like boomers and above. They don't understand. Well, I'm just like older people who don't really get how this could be. Like they don't believe that it's possible to computerize someone's face, you know, to do the whole AI thing. And they're going to take that and run with it. And, like, that's what really concerns me, is that the country is just going to go to shit because older people can't understand that that was a fake. That person didn't really say that. That person didn't really do that. This isn't really happening.
It starts with informing people, though, that it exists. I mean...
And that's why I was like, the title of this, probably the title is like, hey, deep fakes are a thing. It's okay. You know? But, like, it's one of those things where an idea for a skit really just popped in my head. You guys know what the Mandela effect is?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. As a matter of fact, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I have a Bernstein Bears book at my grandparents' house. And I have been digging. Every time I go over there, I'm digging. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I know that my Bernstein Bear book is here. And they're like, it's somewhere. Like, because my grandparents are like, they're not hoarders, but they're like one step below hoarders. They keep everything just very neatly. Like, it's in a drawer or a box somewhere. And I'm going to find it. And I'm going to prove that it used to be the Bernstein Bears, not the Bernstein Bears. There's some anti-Semites out there that were like, we got to change this.
And, like, so, like, it's one of those things, like, you can literally take that Jim Carrey deep fake of The Shining. In like, let's say if we like all just like we had like Sam, hey dude, yeah, you've seen The Shining with Jim Carrey? Like, no, Jack Nicholson, no, Jim Carrey was in it. It's like, no, you don't remember like the scene where he's chasing her in the hallway? Yeah, dude, hey, pull it up, man, watch it.
Well, see, you say that that's like a skit idea, but that's like a real life thing that could happen.
That's a real life thing that could happen. It would be funny, but like people, older generation, like you were saying, wouldn't get the skit.
No, well.
And now all two people listening are going to steal it.
Game Grumps, we're watching you.
Those two people are Danny and Aaron.
Fucking 10-minute power hour. The next 10-minute power hour is going to be on deep fakes where they're going to like swap faces.
They usually got a 2-week turnaround. I'm going to give 2 weeks. I'm going to give 2 weeks. And they're going to have it on their 10-minute power hour.
I swear to God, if they deep fake each other's faces on each other's body, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to fly to LA. I'm going to find them and I'm going to be like, quit stealing our shit and just employ us. Like, we will gladly give you our shit. We just want to be friends with you.
For money. We'll give you our shit for money.
Man.
I'd do it for free.
I'd do it for free.
Just give us a credit.
For Game Grumps? Oh, man. I don't... What would I do?
Well, wow.
Not for Aaron, gross.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I couldn't do that to Susie.
Aww.
I'd make out with Susie. John just was like, John heard that.
It's like
at home. He's like, what?
She just got a text message.
It's like, so I heard you want to make out with Susie.
But yeah, so deep fakes are awesomely terrifying is the best way to describe them.
Yeah. They have the potential to do good and also the potential to ruin the world.
Yeah. But guys, we are right at about an hour. We actually did an hour.
Doing an immature hour. Look at that.
Usually it's the immature hour-ish, give or take.
Yeah,
give or take either like 10, 15.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for joining us this week. It was fun getting back together with you guys. We took a week off there, but
we got hit by Barry.
Barry.
Or as John and I like to call it, Big Tasty. If you don't watch the Goldbergs, you're missing out.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great to sit down and talk with you guys. I always have fun doing these. Yeah, so that's it for this week. I'm Mark.
I'm Kelli.
Eric.
And we'll see you next week. Later.
Bye.